Welcome back to Faywatch.
Hey.
Hi. Wow, our boy boss has returned from the Eternal City.
Indeed.
We did have to drag him back through the portal.
We did. He didn't want to say arrivederci.
No.
I did not.
He wanted to say andiamo.
Yeah, exactly. He's back. Our male leader is back.
Mm-hmm. He got a really cute coat. He's looking
He did.
really
I mean, I
Too.
have my qualms. I have my qualms about like how I'm scared. I hope it's good material. I hope it's good quality for the price. But I think
it
it'll have
is
memories.
actually. It's like I looked it up obviously after I bought it. It's like it's like a designer brand.
Ooh.
Yeah. It's that
Mamma
like
mia.
they make like whatever. Like they make like 80 or 100 of them. So like I think actually it was.
Wow.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, what
Model
was your
boy.
favorite thing that you ate in Rome?
That I ate? Well,
Yeah.
I had this wasn't in Roma. It was in
Or anywhere in Italia.
Firenze.
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 Dina, you gotta help us.
Yeah.
here.
No, I actually
This is what you're
really
here
like
for.
watching you.
I probably should say it's like the Florentine steak I had, which was marinated in red wine, but really it was the cheesecake after. The cheesecake was fucking
Gosh.
unreal. And as you two know, I don't normally get to engage in dessert because it keeps me up.
No.
But,
No,
you know,
it's really
I had nothing
sad.
to do the next day. So I was
Yeah.
like, whatever, YOLO.
You were reckless.
I was so
You
reckless.
Were kooky booky.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Oh my God,
that's
yum.
wild.
Injected into my veins. The cheese.
It was so good.
Yum. Well, while you were living
Love
La Dolce Vita. What's the article
I
there?
thought you
Is
were
it
going to say
La?
living La Vida Loca.
No, not that bad. Is it La Dolce Vita or would it be like?
Oh,
I know
I'm not
il is like the
Listen,
masculine.
my verb conjugations. I'm more about vibes, not verb conjugations. We all know that.
She doesn't actually speak Italian.
Okay, well, I took Italian in second and third grade
Oh, wow.
in my very heavily Italian suburb of Boston. So all I'm saying is Buon Natale and Buon Anno.
Hey,
Happy New Year. It's almost March. I don't even know if that's how you say it. Yeah, well, that's a different thing. Anyways, while you, boy boss, were living La Dolce Vita, I was here. I was here on this here continent.
Yeah.
In the doldrums of winter.
Less Dolce, less Vita, if you will.
Less Dolce, less Vita.
Yeah.
Minimal Dolce, minimal Vita. I was toiling away for the man. And, you know, as I recall, while you were gone, Will, as I recall, I was toiling away and, you know, just a real February, just working.
Yeah.
And you know what I heard? You know the sound that do you want to know the sweetest sound
What?
that anybody could ever hear? It's not the first cry of your newborn babe. It's not the sound of your mother's voice.
No.
It's not any number of things. What it is the cha-ching.
Oh yeah,
The cha-ching
Of the
sound that
Venmo.
Venmo makes.
Wow.
I'm just minding my own business, toiling, and I hear cha-ching.
Wait, does it actually do that?
yeah.
Oh yeah, when your sound
If
is
your
on.
sound's
I
Oh
had
yeah.
no idea.
And mind you, I hadn't just put my credit card down, you know, at like a group check situation,
Right.
you know. So in those situations, you know, you're getting your cha-ching. So the cha-ching is not like,
No,
wow,
but an
it's like cha-ching.
unsolicited cha-ching.
Yeah, like just going about your business,
Yeah.
not expecting money to arrive to you. And I was doing that, and I did that, and I heard that sound, and it was, in fact, from a benefactor.
Wow.
And I just want to say thank you.
Our gratitude unto you, sweet monarch.
Patron.
Yes.
You're a
Yeah.
patron of the
Our
arts.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. You're the Medici
Yeah.
to our
Yes.
To our Da Vinci.
Yes, yeah, that's it. That's right.
And specifically you, I am referring to an individual with a wonderful name, and that name is Rachel. And it wasn't me. I wasn't paying myself. It was someone else named Rachel. So thank you so much, Rachel.
Wow.
Can't tell you how much you made my day.
so
Yeah.
much.
Thank you, Rachel.
Thank you, other Rachel.
Thank you, other Rachel. And so that was a rather long-winded way of sort of saying that, but I had to come to it in my own way.
Yeah, of course.
You know?
No, the cha-ching deserved a full.
Cha-ching. I really got to tell you, that was great. Now, here we are. We're back. Time has passed. Time has passed, again, in ways that you listeners probably could not even understand if you tried. In terms
Your
of
small little brains.
Exactly. Like when we're recording, what's happened, when, who can say?
No, it's kind of like, has it been 10 days or has it been 6 months? You know what I mean?
Exactly. We don't know.
Yeah.
But we can say that we've all finished the book now.
Yeah.
So we finished. So just bear in mind, we're covering the chapters we're covering today, but, whole book possibly is on the table. And I want you to know that. And with that being said, Will, where are we? What's going on?
Bring us back. Lure us in.
Well, this book sucks.
No.
That's where we're at.
No. I don't like that tone.
Oh, how does it feel to get a taste of your own medicine, Rachel?
The book doesn't suck. The book doesn't suck, okay? I don't think the book sucks. I had fun.
You cried.
Listen,
You cried at the
It was
book.
Rachel.
at the end.
It was so funny when we saw the photo of you, sweet Rachel, like literally crying. Will and I were in our apartment. We looked at each other and we were like, "Oh no!
What the fuck are you talking about?"
We were like, we had different experiences.
I had that experience simultaneously with still crying.
You contain
okay?
multitudes.
It just is what
you
it
truly
is.
contain
Yeah.
multitudes.
Way to brag about your ability to hold two things at once.
Right. Yeah, you guys clearly suck at it.
Anyway, I wanted to start by offering us a potential off-ramp in that my friend for my birthday got me the following book inspired by this podcast, Modern Sex Magic: Secrets of Erotic Spirituality.
Wow.
And
Are you just saying we just talk about that today instead of
I mean, we could.
HOFAS?
Wait, well, the funniest part of this was that this book was presented at a dinner with 12 people, in a busy restaurant.
Oh, yeah. I mean, look, let me
love
just give you the little... Obviously, this is a joke. We're not going to, dispense. But, we could. Here's what is contained. Are you ready? Revealed for the first time... Oh, I should say this was, let's see, 1999, okay? So put yourself in 1999. Revealed for the first time... The sexual secrets of the Kabbalah dating back to the Temple of Solomon in Jerusalem. The 16 major secrets of why...
Solomon's Kama Sutra.
Of why and how sex magic, I should say magic is spelled CK, can work for you.
That's true.
Of course.
A summary and analysis of the rarest of Crowley's sex magic instructions, 9-degree emblems and mode of use. That's I guess, its own text. The powerful secrets of women's little-known erotic areas, including the AFE zone and the U-spot.
Okay.
Does it talk about nodding?
No, Dina,
No,
you can't don't tell him what
Never
that
mind.
is.
Don't forget I said it.
I don't know what that is, and I don't know that I want to.
Take it out of your mind.
Anyway, this book is the only place you can find all of this and more in a clear, easy-to-use form. It is non-sexist in language and attitude, and requires no previous magical training or study.
Oh, well, that's
And
good.
it's by Donald Michael Craig, who is a longtime student of the occult and a tarot grandmaster.
Well, in that case.
Yeah, I'm sure it's all correct. I do wonder if it follows the rules that we've thusly learned.
Yeah,
together,
I don't know.
Such as
Ladies come first.
no P and V till
I bet it does.
Sex Act 2.
Okay, but I do just want to circle back to your guys' negativity. I mean, not the best book ever, but there's fun.
There's fun to be had.
No, yeah.
I will just say, because I feel like you guys got to have your little takes last time when I was MIA in Roma. I will just say, to me, it almost feels like this should have been 2 books, and we just crammed 2 books together such that, we had to do a lot of plot to get through, to get through all this stuff in one book. And maybe it needed to be 2 books, is my main take.
Yeah. Or at least 6 months.
Instead of a calendar week. Anyway, okay, so where are we? Well, we are finally, a little spoiler alert for the episode, we're getting, our groups are merging, which is great for taking notes on what's happening, because it's just, much easier.
Right.
And we do love when groups merge. We did leave. We left on a bit of a cliffhanger. Last
As it
time.
were. Yes, indeed.
Last time.
We're gonna keep hanging on that cliff though, because first we're gonna start with failboy Ethan, who remains sort of inexplicably in Crescent City.
Doing his intern rotation.
He's doing his intern rotation. So Ethan is like being mothered / mentored by Jessica. He was like a history major, and so now he's going to be like new assistant. He's struggling to deal with like sentient books. Like they're like rumbling around. They don't respect him. No one respects him.
For obvious reasons.
Right. I mean, they don't.
He's flipping off the books.
If I were a sentient book, I would respect him.
I mean, I will say it does seem like rote kind of manual labor is the most anyone should expect of him.
Right.
I did appreciate when he's like doing his little packing or unpacking or whatever. I did appreciate what was it? Cathona
you better
on all
believe
fours,
I had that. Yeah.
Giving birth.
Yeah.
Giving birth
the world to Midgard.
The world.
Yeah.
It's crowning. I liked that. See? Good.
So good.
Fun little detail.
So okay, another fun little detail that I was like, Jessica makes him like sleep on the floor, and she's like curl up like a dog, and I was like,
curled up like a dog.
Is that like?
She keeps saying like "good dog." I'm like, okay.
Yeah, is that like kink?
Right now?
I don't really know.
What? Yeah. Again, right? As I was rereading, we'll circle back in time. Will.
Yeah, for perhaps the next book the pod will be covering.
I have literally no idea.
Leave you there.
We learn that the magic books actually are like the guardian books. They were originally enchanted to guard the rest of the non-sentient library, which is mostly maths, which is like boring, but I guess important to someone. but since the magic books have taken on their own sort of life. And we also learn there's like a little hot reveal moment in which like Jessica snaps her fingers. And I don't think she was ever not hot, but she becomes like hotter. She's like eternal youth.
Right.
She's been putting on makeup to look older, basically.
Yeah.
I kind of pictured her as like a washed out little cherubic lass. I don't know if she got hotter, but
you think she got
younger,
less hot?
Right?
Maybe.
Well, it just like she had like no makeup and like long tresses. It sounded like she was just like a wee lass, but like I mean, not like an underage lass.
Just weird.
But it's okay.
Right. Something she was cursed by Apollyon to immortal youth. What a terrible fate.
Okay, well, yeah, but like why?
Okay, I didn't really understand.
Why was she? Let's get the backstory. Why was she cursed?
She was cursed because Apollyon thought that the books
thusly
had some secret power.
But who was she?
She was a priestess of Parthos.
I'm really loving this podcast by Socratic method.
Yeah, exactly. I know. I'm trying to get the facts of the case out of you, babe. 15,000 years ago,
old.
She was a human priestess.
Yeah.
And she was part of the last stand of the humans.
And she was on the one ship that got out.
With the books.
And
with the maths.
Right.
Yeah.
And Apollyon couldn't believe that they would all throw away their lives for maths, which is a reasonable assumption, frankly. And so he's like, until you tell me what their power is, I curse you to eternal life and youth and beauty. And she's like,
Right.
I didn't realize that Apollyon also had those cursing powers. Like, feels like he's got a lot.
Oh, yeah. He's doing a lot.
Yeah.
We learn even more shortly. This is kind of like Jessica tell-all section of the book. So there's like a whole little crowd forms in one of the caves in the Flame and Shadow HQ. And that's because the gross, creepy astronomer has shown up to accuse Ethan of stealing the sprites and Siggy and the dragon.
Yeah.
Question mark.
Right.
Yeah.
Which he did do.
Yeah.
Which is...
I mean,
I'm the only non-lawyer of this pod, but it does feel like...
Well, speaking of lawyers, you know what happens is finally our girl Hypaxia shows up. And she shows up and just sort of like deflates his legal arguments like quite quickly. She like had a whole little brief like ready to say. But Jessica also pays him off, as we were told it's a tax write-off, which I did appreciate, frankly. And I guess she has been paying him to see if there is a way to get rid of this Apollyon spell.
Oh,
just like
using the
she's
mystics.
looking for intel. She's looking for intel. And the closest she's found is that like dragon fire is something that the princes of hell are susceptible to. And she was like, that's interesting. I have a note here to complain about the fact that the dragon fucking never shows up again in the entire book.
Yeah, that one was tough for me.
Yeah.
The dragon,
Which is,
I think combination of the dragon not really showing up and Fury being an Uber.
yeah.
I'm like the two girls I was most excited to
see.
To see.
Okay, so that's Jessica. Pax, though, is here in sort of dire straits. She's not doing well.
No. Poor girl. She's going through a lesbian breakup. Horrific.
Breakup, right. With Celestina, because Celestina kind of sold out the crew.
So, they obviously had to break up, but like, I'm sure they're still in the same friend group. I'm sure they're still on multiple of the same group chats. I'm sure they're still at the same one lesbian bar in Lunapian every
How
Friday night.
how many people are in the pool of like power dating lesbians in Midgard? There can't be that many.
Exactly. The L word Midgard. It's like, I'm sure 6 people max. Yeah.
I'm sure they all have already bought tickets to the same Muna concert.
Absolutely.
They're not going to not go.
Absolutely not.
But like, this is all just hypothetical.
In that situation.
Yeah.
So she's in romantic dire straits. She's also in sort of like political life dire straits because she has been kind of cooed, overthrown as witch queen. Although there's also some indication that she was maybe democratically overthrown, which is kind of complicated when you think about it. Because there's apparently some sort of procedural mechanism such that, the general and her allies could like overthrow her. So I don't know. Is it like
Wow.
What if we're just getting one side of the story,
That's true.
Hypaxia didn't seem like that
maybe.
committed to her duties.
No, she definitely did not. Like, was it like Jess was literally like, you should have like probably fought to the death over this, just so you know. And she's like, what? Why? No.
So yeah, Pax got overthrown. Saddest part is the tutors got like dispelled. Her like tutor ghosts got banished.
Yes.
And we never got to meet them.
Oh.
They like pulled the plug.
Yeah.
On them.
Okay. So yeah, Jessica is upset with Hypaxia for not doing more to fight back. And not to like really harp on this, but I'm upset because this is sort of what I mean when I say it feels like this was maybe 2 books of worth of content that got condensed into one. Like, I think that's sort of why like we don't see the dragon. Like the dragon just like disappears, even though, I mean, I completely forgot the dragon's name, but like was
Ariadne.
The dragon we're all really invested in.
It's like sort of set up to be a character and then just like mysteriously walks off stage left.
And like also we know how I feel about witches. Like I would have loved to like be in the room when the witch covens were doing an uprising.
Well, I was gonna say show don't tell. I feel like we could have gotten whole half a book about like building the tension in like this new setting and the witches.
That's
and
true.
like
and they could have all been lesbians. I don't know. I'm just saying.
Obviously would have been
or at
lesbian.
least the ratio of lesbians would have been higher. They would have been their coup could have happened at a lesbian bar. I don't know. I'm just shooting the shit here. I'm throwing out ideas. No bad ideas.
Right.
But like, yeah, I would have loved to.
And like, I just feel like then we would have really gotten. Instead, it's sort of like she shows up at House of Flame and Shadow, which is apparently accepting all applications these days.
Also, we don't even know if the person who did the uprising was hot. Like, I don't even know whose side to be on. Like, was the person who did the uprising hot?
Yeah.
I feel like no,
We don't
but I have no basis for that. We just
Right.
We just don't know.
Anyway, Pax is here. Pax showed up. No longer queen. Ex-queen. Now we're resurrecting Siggy, which is like, why?
Why?
Okay, here's my question. Was there ever any chance, like with the necromancy, like they're still
dead, right?
yeah, there's
That's
never
what I
any
don't get.
chance that she's just going to be like back to life, right?
Okay, but it seems like maybe there is because so they spent 7 hours, 7 minutes, and 7 seconds resurrecting Siggy. First of all, they have to sew her head back on because like you need that to be there if the first light whatever's going to work. But she comes back as a Reaper, and everyone is surprised. And there's something about like she could have taken door right, but she took door left, and like door left led to Reaper, which means she works for the Underking. But door right would have been a different kind of resurrection in which she is like works for Pax. I don't know.
Or like maybe she wouldn't have been able to like, Because wasn't it like you maybe could like ask them questions or something, but they won't like stay alive forever. But if they become full Reaper, then they can be alive.
I have no idea. Also, potentially more evidence in the bucket of like, was Pax like truly that talented? She keeps getting like glowed up as like this great necromancer, and the 2 necromancy situations we've had, she hasn't done that well. She hasn't really.
Well, she's a homeschool kid, so it's like who's there to compare it to?
No offense.
I'm sure her ghosts were like, "You're the best student we've ever had."
Yeah, that's definitely true. Honestly, and they're like, "Oh my god, like she's so smart." It's like, well, she's never like talked to another kid, so
right, and she's the only person you talk to. So,
but I'm sure if you're out there and you're listening and you're homeschooled, I'm sure you're gifted.
Definitely the smartest person.
You're great.
No, you're so gifted. You're so talented. You're dare
definitely
I say,
not like
and
socially
talented.
or emotionally stunted.
Oh yeah, I mean pot kettle. So
yeah, no, you can achieve that status no matter your type of education.
Can
Rest
confirm.
assured.
Okay, now I don't understand this. Do one of you remember why are they looking for Sophie's body? This just like popped up out of nowhere for me.
So I think kind of actually maybe similar to the Siggy thing, like her body, I guess, still would have like the power in it to be used.
Sophie's a Thunderbird, which is a variant of Hunt, basically.
Right, a prototype. But yeah, no. So, and I guess the Thunderbird also has like the power to like bring people back to life,
like the lightning does.
The lightning does, yeah.
Okay.
So we could get Soph sort of up and moving, and then we get. Zoop, we take some of the lightning, and then we go zoop to we Siggy, and then Siggy's like and then she can like unreap herself.
It sounds like a metaphorical human centipede.
Yeah, I actually don't care to think about that further. But yeah, it's kind of the same vibe. Because Ethan's like, okay, well, like, I really fucked up again. Like, fuck me. Like, I really fucked up. But, like, this time, this one will really fix it.
Yeah. More necromancy, not less.
Right. Exponentially more necromancy will solve it.
And the whole time, Jessica is sort of like, she's kind of like above it all, like 15,000-year-old queen. Because she's like, why do you want, like, a Fendir? Like, and she's kind of like hinting, nudging, like, do you really like, but like, okay,
right.
If you're like really committed,
right? Like, what really if you just like use this girl as like the plot twist to your own life? Yeah. You know what I mean?
We'll get there. Also, apparently the food is dope at House of Flame and Shadow.
Oh, I believe that. Yeah. Yeah. You missed our convo about like the sick like members.
Oh yeah, it's Soho House. Is the food good at Soho House though?
Yeah.
Or is it just like fine? It's good.
Yeah.
I think it's fine.
Which, like, I didn't want to, like, reveal to our listeners that, like, I was a member. I aged out of having a half price membership, which is ultimately when I took my leave. But I miss it. But I don't want to, let's not talk about how I was on Raya either. I just.
No. Yeah. Sorry. Let me close my Raya.
Actually, both of you.
I know. I like to maintain
I'm the only non-Ryan.
Yeah.
Wow.
Well, I'm a man of the people.
Yeah. Maybe that's the source of your unluckiness in love. Mm-hmm. I think Raya would fix it. But anyways, we're people of the people, you know? So just forget we ever said anything.
No, we'll never bring up our Raya memberships ever again.
Okay, well, we're sort of coming to the end of our little interlude in Crescent City, except for that, like, the U-boats show up and start firing into the human district. Like, I guess to punish Bryce. What's up with Bryce? Okay, Bryce. Our girl Bryce is with Dad. She's on like solo vacation with Dad, trapped in his house.
Like, I hope my boyfriend is still alive. What's in the fridge?
Yeah.
And there's like some teasing the Autumn King. Teasing us is what I meant. There's some teasing us because again, we get like some kind of slight glimmers of like, is Autumn King this like terrible, terrible person? Or does he have like some emotional depth and complicated kind of layers to him? Because he's like, I think...
Because this is when...
I was going to say, he's like, I think every day about when I sent my goon squad to like kidnap/kill you and your mother. And he seems like he needs therapy.
Right. He's like, I regret the abuse a lot. He also is like extremely jealous of Randall and how like she considers him her real dad. Yeah, it's very confusing because you're like, is that there? But then he's like, I'm going to force you to take me through the portal so that I could go to the other world and conquer people. And it's like, oh, okay,
Dad has some like boy ass ambitions in which he's just done a lot of like reading by himself and decided he's going to do this like crazy thing without checking in and with, reality. So he wants her to open a portal to basically Akatar so he could become king of Akatar.
Which, like, honest to God, like, that would have also... I would read a full novella about her sending him to Akatar and him just getting, like, the shit kicked out of him in, like, every court that he, like, tries to go to. Like, that would be fun.
And he... Something is like, the knife and the sword lets you make a portal to nowhere. I don't know if that's helpful. We'll see. That's that. Anyhow, we take a nap in Rune's room, and fortunately, so conveniently, there's a set of spare keys to the Gorzian manacles that Autumn King has clapped on Brycey. And we basically learn this was all a trap. Bryce did this completely intentionally. She, like, saunters down to the study at one point to see Dad, like... He's like dismissive of her, and like at the last second she like claps on manacles on him and she's like, gotcha, like you played into my trap.
Right. Mm-hmm. What I don't understand here, again, I think this whole thing should have been like way longer, but in this specific thing, like it feels like I'm like, where's your sense of urgency? She's like lounging around the house for like 2 days.
2 days out of the week and a half. Proportionally.
The ratio of time is just like high compared to
I guess she didn't need to sleep. She's been like a busy girl. So she was just catching those Z's.
Right. And I guess she was trying to like lure him into saying
and he wasn't like that helpful. So she locks him in the broom cupboard and she's like, take that.
Yeah.
She decides she's getting out. Her phone is dead. She can't get out through the front door. But fortunately, there are like, some prisms and mirrors arranged such that she can beam her 2 different kinds of starlight, which look completely different at different angles. Mm-hmm. And then they meet in the middle. And then she jumps into it. And it's somehow she has enough power to shoot it out. But then, like, it also absorbs it back, and that recharges her. Yeah,
it's some kind of, like, charge. She charges herself
she found a hack to, like, charge herself up, and then she teleports. Wonder where. Okay, now we're back in Boys Town plus Lydia. We are on the Depth Charger, big city submarine situation. Yeah, breaking news, Lydia didn't die. Despite the fact that the words did literally say in the book, she died.
She died.
Those words were not true. Not all words are true. Those were not true words.
Well, Hunt had to lightning her back to life. It was very confusing what happened to her, though, because it was like there was a hole in her chest, but then they said something about having to put her brains back in her head.
Well, it's both and, I think, because she also like fell and then.
So first of all, a very unselfconscious naked Therian jumps into the water to go save her from the water.
Oh, yeah.
Let us not
he does
glaze over
naked.
that.
Right.
Yes, there is a hole as big as a fist through her heart. Does that matter? No. She had, quote, she'd been completely dead, but like some combination of first light potions and Hunt defibrillator mode and like voila.
Yeah.
She's back. She's here.
I'm almost like, I don't think we needed her to be that far dead. Like she could have just like jumped off the cliff and like gotten hurt and they saved her. Like I feel like there's too many people who are dying and coming back.
They could have said like SJM could have said like and like she laughed as everything went black.
Yeah.
Right. Right. Yeah. I'm just like there's so much coming back from the dead. Like she could have been injured.
Yeah. Yeah, I believe they call that plot armor. Anyway, she's alive. Hunt is doing like the kind of rounds. He's like checking in on the crew. So he checks in on Therian. They don't talk about their emotions, but they do admit they have emotions, which I suppose is like
step one.
Huge first step.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
They agree to set up like a kind of meet cute with the Ocean Queen. And Therian's like, oh, like, she's going to yell at me. I don't want to do it. But then they go talk to whatever, the captain of the ship. And captain's like, oh, she's on her way anyway. So, like, you'll get that. Don't worry.
Right. And Therian's like, I feel so bad because I've, like, done all these horrible things. And then Hunt's like, could you do this, like, one quick thing that would be super helpful and just, like, ask this person this thing? And he's like, oh, no, I couldn't do it. Like,
oh, man.
But he did.
But he did. He did.
The sprites, poor sprites.
Oh my
God.
God.
Are in a windowless room,
so
like
bad.
binging Coronal, what's it called? The Coronal Islands, selling
reality
TV show to forget that they're like underwater.
Like the most relatable queens ever.
I think I was meant to be a sprite.
You are a sprite.
Yeah, no, I think
like,
that's right.
all they ever do is just watch reality TV on people's like iPads.
Yeah.
And it sounds amazing.
It's incredible. And they're like, that's how they deal with their anxiety. And I'm like, no way. That's how I deal with my
I did notice that they always are sort of like
Exactly.
talked to kind of condescendingly. Like everyone's like, oh, we have to like, these like wee sprites. Like we gotta like.
Yeah. Well, there's a lot of like sprite bias.
Yeah, for sure.
Definitely. Even amongst the allegedly like
they're
woke.
like alleged allies.
Yeah.
Baxian is working out to stop his quote bad thoughts.
As the boys
intrusive
do.
thoughts about chewing off.
Yeah.
I forgot about that. Yeah, Rune is battered, but
Baxian has not forgotten about it.
so wait, is Rune's hand back? I'm gonna assume it's back.
Yeah, it's
It's
back.
grew
It's just
back,
like kind of
but
like
it's
white.
like it's like
and,
very
like-
like weak and thin and doesn't have any tattoos
No
and
tattoos.
and is pale.
Oh.
Yeah.
So he's battered, but he like kind of drags himself over to like a barely conscious Lydia. And it's like,
Oh my God, Rune actually, he like
cute.
refuses to leave her room.
I know, but she doesn't give a
And the boys are like, well, no, before she's awake.
Yeah.
He like refuses to leave her room and he's like trying to like call out to her mind. And Flynn and Zach are like, you gotta sleep, bro. You gotta sleep. And he's like, I can't.
Yeah.
I can't leave her.
Classic.
Like the last time I went to my room, like she flatlines. Like I can't leave again. Like this, I will say this is the one, this all does.
And
for
like
me.
he said something terrible to her the last time they saw each other. So
Right. Like
Yeah.
you're dead to me. And then she,
I'm sure you won't regret that in what is likely to be your last moments. Definitely speak your
Right.
mind there, bud. But as he's checking on her, she wakes up and she doesn't really have a lot of time for him because it turns out Lydia is like single working mom, kind of,
gosh.
in which she gave
Mother.
birth to twins secretly, Bran and Actaeon, who were then raised apart from her. Like she never saw them again by gay mer couple lit.
Yeah. Cute.
Did you feel represented?
A little bit. I was like, it's Pete and Chasten.
Yeah. Wow.
Literally, don't they have twins?
Yeah, probably.
Or do they just
No, they
have
do have
one?
twins. They
Maybe
do have
I don't know.
twins.
Oh man. But it was so the scene where like she wakes up and she's like, I think she asked like two questions. She's like, am I dead or alive? And he's like, alive. And she's like, where are we? And as soon as he says like the depth charger, the way she like runs and like you don't know, like you have no idea where she's going or why she's running.
Yeah, like tears her IVs out.
Like,
And is just
yeah.
like flailing.
Yeah.
Yeah, and she runs to school to like
she goes
look
to
in the window.
see.
And she's
Yeah.
never seen a picture of them, but she knows who they are. And then the principal's like, let's like not cause a scene like right in the middle of the school day. Let's do this later. We'll come back to that shortly. So then we have our meeting with the Ocean Queen, which goes like fine.
She seems cool though. She was in my mind Octavia Butler. No?
Oh, maybe?
I don't know. That's what I pictured.
I liked the description of her. I liked what was it? Her lips are like the pink of like a flounder. I don't know.
Oh, I
She's
missed
like a
that
good,
part.
and
That's
her
cute.
she has like shark eyes.
She has shark eyes. She has like a gown
yeah.
of kelp.
Yep. There's like a little
and then at some
poisonous
point-
thing on her wrist, like on her arm, like wrapped around her arm too.
Yeah, and then at some point, like a hermit crab like scuttles out of her hair or
Yes.
something. I
Yeah.
liked that. See, that's good.
Are you getting hot? I was getting like Pirates of the Caribbean undead. like sea monster.
I don't think I'm getting hot.
I don't think hot. I think like regal.
She has a lush body.
Yeah.
But it said that she wasn't like beautiful.
Okay.
And she starts out all
she's
small.
beyond beauty. You know what I mean?
She's post beauty.
Yeah.
Right. Like she's like kind of like small, but like emanating power.
Yeah.
I don't know.
She's post beauty, like Gen Z.
Wow.
Except she's a little older.
Yeah.
Slightly.
She's upset with Therian, perhaps understandably, for like causing multiple diplomatic incidents.
Right.
Yeah. She's like, but why shouldn't I hand you over? And done. Wow. What a perfect layup. I bet in my mind, Bryce is just like waiting outside the door.
Waiting in the
for
wings.
Like,
For
the
like the
right quote.
Like, oh, not quite. Not
Bryce,
quite.
like, she like flicks her hair and steps in. And she's like, I'm a queen and I will be upset. So that's why.
He works for me.
Bryce loves to just like randomly like, okay, you're like
Yeah,
queen.
now you're a
like,
queen.
You're not.
Right? Like, since when?
Well, and we'll get to this
Like
later.
it's kind of like how her and Hunt are like, yeah, we're married. It's like, well,
I know. This
I mean,
was
you're not,
no,
but okay.
right. What?
I'm the queen of the Valbar and Fae.
Yeah.
It's like, wait.
And also, like, I was like secondhand embarrassed for her in this scene because I'm like, I love irreverence. I love when like the young like female heroine is like irreverent about things and like doesn't really like respect like authorities that don't deserve it. But like she's coming off like kind of bratty and young in this. Like I'm like the Ocean Queen. I'm like, yeah, like she's been doing this for like fucking centuries. Like
thousands of years. We learned she was here when the
Right.
Steri first arrived. Yeah,
Right.
no.
And Bryce just keeps like making her little quips. Like there's a couple things that she says. I'm like, okay, like maybe like one of those. And then like maybe you can have like a real conversation.
No, Ocean Queen is reasonable bae. She's like,
Yeah.
so is your like dad dead?
Right.
And and she's like, no. And she's like, okay, so like I don't really get how you can be queen and you haven't really given me any like reason to trust you. You're just kind of unhinged walking in here.
Yeah.
But like, okay.
Like a 25-year-old, you know what I mean? This Ocean Queen's like, sorry, so why would I want you as my ally?
Yeah.
Like, I get why you want me as your ally, but like...
But like Hunt lends out a strangled sob at her appearance, which I guess is cute. Fine. They squeeze hands.
Yeah.
So there's like sass. She explains the whole parasite in the water thing.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I have Ocean Queen is the voice of reason, but this is not a book that rewards being reasonable. So
Right,
doesn't really
right,
get it
fair.
that far. We learn, however, that the Ocean Queen and the Myr were like native to Midgard.
Yeah.
Like, they and the humans, I guess, were like whatever.
That was cool, though, because I feel like we were wondering, like, are the Myr from
Right.
Throne of Glass World, or are they not?
Yeah, totally. TLDR, Ocean Queen agrees to go to Avalon because we need to do a research project. We have like vague ambitions to do a research project. That's like where the big library
Right.
is. There's a spooky cave that we should check out too.
Yeah.
And so
Right.
Depth Charger is going to take them to Avalon.
Yeah, they're like, we're not a fairy,
Yeah.
but we will take you.
But we will.
Can we talk about the Hunt and Bryce of it all?
Oh,
though?
we are going to. Fear not.
Okay, great.
Yeah, so post, everyone is like hugging each other. Bryce is like, I teleported here because it's home, and home is wherever you are, hun. And like, I teleported because of love or something.
Okay, question. Can I ask a question? I'm
Yeah.
so sorry. I'm so sorry. Rachel's gonna fucking kill us.
No.
So, okay, what if she's teleporting to him? Where the fuck on the Depth Charger does she actually teleport? Like, I don't, like, why is she not showing up? Like,
Okay, now I am gonna.
okay.
Even I'm
gonna
like,
call-
that's like a little, that's a little
Oh,
specific.
okay. You think it's just more of like a radius thing? It's like a
Yeah, I mean, how the fuck does she teleport anywhere? But like,
yeah.
And we will say, because nobody has ever or will ever accuse this podcast of being unfair.
Right.
We will say the fact that she's able to teleport to him and she doesn't really know where he is and all that shit. We'll put that in the column. We'll put that in their mates column.
Yeah. Oh, totally. Yeah.
I mean,
for sure.
that gets
Like, right, 'cause
answered
it's like she
fairly
knew.
definitively by the end of this book.
What are you talking about? You're the one who said you're still on the train.
Yeah, before I finish the book.
Oh, okay.
Okay, yes, but we do get, which I just like don't get the purpose of this then. Like, is it just to like keep us on our toes a little bit? We get little like Hunt and Bryce like fake argument.
Well, but like the it was just so funny to me. Okay, so here's a couple things. Number one, Bryce and Rune's reunion was actually like really cute. Like Rune, you know what I mean? Like Rune, like as soon as he hears, he's like sobbing. I think that the fact that it was in this like room with the Ocean Queen like, I don't know if SJM was like, oh, like, we need to have Bryce, like, be queenly and, like, be above it all. But, like, we totally missed the, like, emotional reunion piece because they were in that room. So we, like, didn't really get any of that. And so, like, but we did get it with Rune. So it just, like, felt weirdly off. And then they're, like, having this, like, talk where Hunt's like, I'm so sorry that I did all this and like now we've all suffered or whatever. And he's talking about suffering in the dungeons. And she literally like kind of tries to one up him by being like, well, I was away and I had to worry every minute.
Well, and she's like,
I'm like, girl, I don't know if that's your best like argument in this situation. Like he was literally having his like guts torn out by this like curved knife. Like he had his wings like cut off with like a blunt saw. Like, I don't know.
No, she's literally like, she's like, I'm sorry. I was like, so sorry for all the suffering you guys went through, but like, I don't regret that we took a stand. And he's like, I don't know. Like, what the fuck did we do that for? Like, I regret it. And
right. He's like, you didn't have to watch your friends be carved up.
No, he's like 100% correct here. And she's really on one.
And she does the other thing where she's like, well, do you even want to be here? Because it kind of like seems like you don't.
Questioning your commitment to my like unhinged rebellion.
And he's like, I do want to be here. I'm literally here and I'm with you and I'm going to like do this shit. And she's like, that's not good enough. I want you to really want to do that shit. And like when you're in a couple, like ladies, gents,
I want
listeners,
you to want to.
you have to classic. draw near because like here's my professional advice as a therapist and a relationship counselor and someone who's in a perfect relationship is like you can ask and want your partner to like do stuff with you or like, you know, agree to take a course of action with you. And like, you can ask out of them in some situations. And like, if they do it, you can't, I don't think you can really also be like, yeah, but like, I want you to want to do it.
Yeah.
Too.
You can't also be like, how you did it wasn't exactly to my preferences.
Right. It's like, they're doing it.
Right.
So sometimes you got to kind of accept that he's doing it.
This is classic. It's just like unfortunate because Bryce has like such main character energy and it does just so happen that she is the main character. So like, it's like she never really gets her comeuppance. So she's never going to learn, you know?
No, I know.
Right.
Yeah.
And then her other slip up is talking about his little black halo. And she's like, are we going to get rid of it? What's going on? And then she's like, well, I need you at your full power.
Right.
And then she's like, oops. Sorry. Oh, I mean, I want for your own sake that you would not have that.
Yeah. And he's like, what? Do you think I drew it on myself? What? Yeah. I feel like, and overall, there's just a like, oh my God, he's taking forever to get over the like.
Yeah, it's torture from last weekend. Like, let's get to it. Come on, buddy.
From like literally 72 hours ago.
Although I will say.
Wow, here we go.
Okay, here we go. Yeah, give us an although I will say, because I got a 0, although I will say it.
I think at this point it's an in for a penny, in for a pound. And I do think, like, Hunt, you were right, like, the first 2 times when you said, like, let's not do this, however many times you said it. I do think now, like, y'all are just, you're in it now. So now you do just kind of need to get on board, because, like, there is no going back. So let's just maybe get on the train. But hey.
Totally. But I do think the train could have involved, again, a few more months and some therapy and some,
he's allowed to be kind of upset about it.
Yeah.
Anyway, they changed the topic because, like, they're going to end up in like a knockdown drag out fight. Yeah. And the topic is that she stole like, I don't know, Daddy Autumn King's little personal journal, his diary where he keeps his secrets. And they're like plotting. That's like whatever. They're plotting.
Right. That they're going to get into Avalon because.
And they don't bone.
They don't bone. They just cuddle.
Don't bone.
They just cuddle.
She's like, oh, she's so sleepy.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm just like, are these supposed to be red herrings? I'm just so confused.
Yeah, I don't get it.
Like, they don't go back to their fucking biodome.
They don't go, which Hunt had been avoiding because he couldn't be there without Bryce.
Yeah.
Like, they should have gone for round 2.
Anyway, whatever. They cuddle. They don't bone. Lydia has an awkward meeting with her sons. She didn't even know their names.
Oh,
So there's Bran.
Who's wearing a forest green t-shirt.
Oh, wow. Okay, we're getting...
No, people.
Well, you don't understand, do you?
Oh, he doesn't understand.
I don't get it.
Oh
he
my
doesn't
God.
know. He doesn't know.
He doesn't even get it. Holy shit.
Blonde hair, blue eyes.
Well, okay, Tog spoilers.
Wait, what were you going to say about the name? You don't like the name?
No, I like the name. I was going to say he's a himbo.
Oh, yes. No, that's true.
Sure. Tog spoilers. Again, Boy Bass hasn't even fucking read
Yeah.
Tog.
Oh my God.
Which we might fix at some point.
Maybe.
Yeah, we might have to.
But like, yeah, he doesn't care also. But like, so Brannon is the name of Aelin's ancestor.
Yeah. He's like the godfather of like the fire line of that. Of those guys.
Okay.
Aelin is blonde. Aelin has firepower.
Golden hair. Sorry. She has golden
Okay.
hair. She has firepower.
And so Lydia named her kid Brannon after her people's progenitor.
Who she had heard vague
What is the
stories about.
forest green t-shirt of it all about?
It's like a reference to Terrasen, which is their homeland.
Okay, and then what's up with... So Actaeon has dark hair,
Which I
golden
love.
eyes.
I love that. That's fun.
He has like a black
Good name.
fit.
Ace.
Yeah.
He's like smart and like he's like fuck
Yeah.
off, like you left us, I
Right.
hate you.
He's giving huge Will energy.
Yeah.
But yeah, so they have a meeting and like the social worker principal is there to mediate. The like boys' two dads are there. And the dads are like, ugh, they're so wholesome because they just like they didn't raise them at all to be like hate their mom or anything, even though like I might have.
Yeah. Will definitely would have.
Yeah, they're like so embarrassed. They're like, oh no, we're so sorry.
Yeah. And so like
Language.
Language, boys.
So Bran is just kind of like, one of his dads is like, yeah, what you see is what you get. I don't know. He's good at sports. That's like kind of what there is.
We kind of
He
let
loves
him do
hanging out
that.
with
Yeah,
his
he's
friends.
like, whatever,
Yes.
natural leader, yawn. Bran is like relatively nice. Ace is like, yeah, I know who you are. Your fuck buddy is Pollux. I was like, whoa.
Yeah. Whoa, didn't know you knew the term fuck
But he's
buddy
also
yet,
he's like
you know?
engineering genius. Like he came up with little like scuba tank suits for him and Bran so they could swim with their mer
Yeah.
friends because they were like left out.
Yeah. They're so cute.
But poor Lydia
know.
is
I
like,
know.
no, it's okay. They're like, fuck you, blah, blah, blah. And she's like, it's okay.
They're like, do we have to live with you now? And she's like, no.
She's like, def not.
Yeah.
Poor Liz.
Liz.
I
And
know.
Ocean Queen is like, so it turns out she was sort of like spy at the behest of Ocean Queen, who it seems like the two boys were kind of hostages in addition to being raised and cared for. Like implicit threat that if she ever stopped spying for Ophion and the Ocean Queen, this is what would happen. Or like bad stuff would happen. Ocean Queen is like, you still have to stay on your job, which doesn't make a lot of sense to me because like her cover is completely blown as a spy. So it's like, what?
Right. What is the job now?
She's basically, she's going to join the crew and be like liaison to the Ocean Queen. She's like ambassador.
Yeah, which may be better for her that she didn't have to go through the whole ethical, like, do I stay here, try to form a relationship with them, or do I like join the crew and trying to like have a revolution?
I guess that's true. That is nice. And what else? Oh, there's a cute little moment in which, so first of all, she got put into one of these like aquatic bodysuits that is like leaves nothing to the imagination.
Oh my gosh.
course.
Oh, she's looking
And she
fine,
turns-
you know.
Even though they're all dry.
Right. But you never know.
Right.
At any
They're
moment.
not swimming, but like you just, in the moment, you just never know.
Right.
And she turns a corner down like a corridor, and who's there? But it's Rune. And Rune, you know, as like boys do, he like was in a rush. So he went to his room, he took off his shirt, he grabbed like a white t-shirt, and he was like, I'm going to put this on like on my way. Like I can't put this shirt on now.
He's like, gotta go.
No.
I'm going to
of
like strut
course
down
not.
the hall shirtless and then like put my shirt on
Just
later.
in case I run into my crush in the hallway.
Yeah. And there's a line in which, so they bump into each other and he's like, oh my God, she's so hot. And he's like, he might not have explored her body on this plane anyway, but their souls had definitely fucked. And I was like, okay.
Well, it's true.
It's true. Anyway, they get into like a wee fight though. They get into like a little spat. I don't really remember about
Yeah.
that.
Yeah. And she's like, okay, don't start like warming to me or being like, oh, whatever, just because I'm a mom.
Yeah.
Right.
She's like, I don't want
Yeah.
your pity. Okay, so the squirt is going on vacation to Misty. They're going on like their like Scottish Highland vacation, or like I guess it's like what are those islands called? Is it Islay, whatever?
The Isle of Skye.
The
Isle of Skye.
Like,
That's
Isle
a
of
good
Skye.
one. They're going to the Isle of Skye. Importantly, Lydia and Bryce kind of condescendingly send the sprites to go find Erithis, the queen, because they're like, we really could use you on the island. Like, you'd be so helpful on the island. But, like, actually, there's this, like, more important thing that, like, you should go do. It's like they're talking to children.
Yeah.
But they do that.
They're so happy to get the fuck off that ship, too.
Yeah.
Don't blame them.
Yeah.
The boat sort of pulls up to the mist, because the mist is, like, you can't go into the mist, basically, if you're not invited.
It's like a mist wall.
It's like a mist wall. But fortunately, conveniently, if you have the Star Sword, little gap opens up in the mist.
Yeah.
And a boat comes out, a white little boat with a stag head on it that starts talking to you. I guess it's the king, to transport you in. So, like, for whatever reason, he lets them go in. So they all get on the boat, and they're, like, supposed to leave Therian behind. But then at the last minute, Therian, like, looks over his shoulder, and he's like, let me just fuck up one more thing.
Wait, isn't this the moment where I think Declan, like, offers him his hand, or like leaves his hand dangling or something? Like either Declan or Flynn. I don't think it's like meant to be like homoerotic at all, but there's like this moment where it's like Therian looked at the hand.
Okay, I have a gripe with you, which is like, I spent the entire book waiting for the homosexual pivot for Therian in vain because of you.
Oh, you thought that was like actively going to happen in the book?
Oh no! Well, now you know how I felt the whole time watching True Detective Cold Lesbians who weren't actually lesbians.
One of them, I think, was bi.
Wow.
But, yeah.
Well, I mean, and I know we're kind of cart before horse or whatever, but we had that whole talk about Therian before we knew that he even agreed to take on a wife.
Oh yeah, we didn't know
like
that.
another beard. We didn't even know.
We didn't
he
know
took
that.
on another beard.
Yeah.
And by the way, I was listening to the audiobook.
Right.
I was so excited because I thought her name was Safia. And I was like, oh my God, like marriage of convenience between like a gay lady and a gay dude. I was so excited about it. It's Safia.
Yeah.
TH. I thought it was PH.
Yeah. No, that was just sort of chance and happenstance. And apparently it all was for naught. Anyway, so they get in and everyone's like, Therian, well, what are you doing? You're really fucking up now. But they kind of get escorted into King Morven, who's Shadow King's throne room. Things are a bit drab in Avalon.
Yeah.
It's like gray, it's cloudy, everything is like kind of run down. It's very medieval. Like they don't really have tech, which at least is nice. It's like nice to be back.
It's medieval, but not in like the fun way. It's in the way of like, you know, those in like Game of Thrones, like some of those like castles in the north. It's like giving like Lord Bolton. Yeah. It's giving the phrase. That's what it was giving to me.
Yeah. And as our nature Sibs, Flynn and Sathia tell us, they're the ones with like the plant magic.
Do they always have that?
And they're like, yes. Flynn like can like throw like vines.
That's so cool.
Yeah.
They're both like, yeah, no, like the earth is like rotten here. There's something wrong. So it's not even because like we're Scotland, right? But it's not even like lush, verdant.
No, yeah. It's
like gray and gloomy. It's like the earth is like rotten.
Yeah.
It's like someone's been polluting the water and like everything is bad.
It's like kind of like dead and cold.
Yeah. So they're in the throne room. Morven sits on this like big ass antler throne and like coils of shadow for his crown, which honestly is kind of a cool touch. He's like all like fey about it, and he refuses to speak to anyone who's been like disowned, which is like the entirety of their crew.
Love this moment. That was so funny when she was like, okay, like raise your hand if you've been like disowned or otherwise.
Cast into disgrace or something.
Right, cast into disgrace. And like everybody raises their hands.
And Flynn's like, I guess like I have not gotten the memo yet that I'm disowned. I'm probably disowned, but like the paperwork hasn't come through. So like, I'll talk to you. And it turns out that actually his family's here. His fam is here because finally kind of like their actions have caught up with them. It's not safe for their family to be in Crescent City. So his parents sought refuge with the Shadow King. But the price they paid was offering his sister Sathia's hand in marriage to one of the, quote, murder twins.
It's like, what, did they not have a couple 20s on them?
Yeah,
You know what I mean?
Apparently not. They, by the way, are just chilling at the hunting lodge up north, and I was like, oh, I wonder if the hunting lodge is kind of cool. Like, maybe that's better.
Yeah, it could be. Yeah.
But yeah, so anyway, they're supposed to offer Sathya to one of Cormac's, I guess, younger brothers, the murder twins, who like read minds and are bad guys, and they're not that complicated. That's kind of all.
Yeah, they suck. It's very like Crab and Goyle.
Yeah. Oh, and this whole fucking place is like sexist AF. Like,
yeah, super
for real,
sexist.
for real.
That I think they put dotted their I's and crossed their T's on that one.
Yeah.
And, does it make a ton of sense that Morven is letting them kind of hang out and poke around for stuff? No. But he eventually gets there. He's like, okay, you can stay for a little bit. And in exchange, I want like Daddy Autumn King's secret journal at the end.
Right. Yeah. And presumably he's going to like watch what they do, and then, maybe he thinks he's like playing some kind of long game.
Yeah, he's like, he's probably scheming, but that's fine. They're about to leave, but it's like the whole Sathya of it all remains a bit unresolved. And Rune is mind speaking to Bryce, like, maybe we just can't actually do anything about this. Obviously, that's not going to go well. But this time, Therian is just like, you know what? In for a penny, in for a pound.
Yeah,
like, why not?
Yeah.
And immediately proposes. So
I do love how like Flynn and Rune and stuff are like, yeah, like no offense, like Sathya's low-key kind of a bitch.
She sucks.
Like let's just like not.
But like the whatever. Yeah, and like for some reason, I guess I just didn't really understand why the Shadow King is like cool with this, because I thought he wanted her to marry one of his sons, but he's apparently fine with her marrying a murderer, and he's all about like,
I think it's like women must be supervised.
They just must be owned.
That's true, but that's a good point though. He's obsessed with Fae breeding, so I think marrying a murderer is not. But
he's like, so he consents. I guess this isn't how people wanted it to turn out, and he loves that. He gets off on that. So he like summons a priest to marry them on the spot, and they're married. Wow.
I don't think this precludes him from being gay in a future book.
No, I know. I mean,
right. Like it almost...
It's his beard.
Yeah.
Is there going to be a future book?
Yeah.
I think so. I mean, it certainly seems set up
probably
that way.
in like 4 years, but yeah.
So in theory, they're dividing onto teams. One team to go into the cave of something, which is where the Star Sword was originally found.
And what was it? I think they come up with names for those teams.
Team Cave.
No, I know. Literally Team Cave.
And Team Archive, which is going to check out the archive. Okay, Archive, I didn't really get this the first read. It's like as big as the Ocean Queen's boat. It's like a city of a library. It's massive.
Oh, I didn't realize it was that big.
My
brain capacity would only let me think of like one big room.
It's so big, and they have like a massive wall that's like just one big card catalog, and like I don't know what search terms they're looking up or whatever.
Wow, so many options for fucking in the sky.
Yeah, and there's like a mosaic dome.
Oh my god, Will and I are so into mosaics right now.
Become mosaic pilled.
Wow.
So they learn a few things at the archive. One, they learn that like it seems there were way more islands kind of around.
Yeah.
And then the sea level sort of mysteriously rose very quickly.
Yeah.
Yeah. And the Ocean Queen mentioned this too, the disappearance of islands.
Right. So what's that all about? There's a tapestry of a Pegasus that Bryce is like, I see that Pegasus.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm like so sorry, but so this is where we get, I think, our only sex of the book, maybe? Or like one of our only sex of the books. And it just like didn't really do it for me. Like first,
well, walk us through it.
I don't even have much to say. Like they first Hunt and Bryce, they're like doing another version of this. Like he's not enthusiastic enough, but this time they have like makeup sex to get past it, which is better.
Better than changing the topic. Rebellion planning.
And like I don't know, they kind of just have sex. Like there wasn't like anything. I mean, there was the one thing in a very hat tip to Dina. It seems like there's some kind of hint what's happening in their kind of simultaneous orgasm. when it says they basically see or whatever stars and planets and rainbow clouds of nebulas swirled around them, darkness cut with lightning brighter than the sun and moon held together in perfect balance, suspended in the same sky.
Sorry, that sounds like a co-star.
Yeah. And they're like, but they can like see Avalon below them. And it's like, wow, it almost looks like Avalon is like a source of magic, or are we the source of magic? And whatever. And it seems like they maybe exchanged magic.
Yeah, and listen, established couple sex is never as good as about to be established couple sex.
But like it could be. I don't know. But like truly, it's just like they just have like it's like, oh, he like had sex.
Right. Yeah, it's not like there was a dramatic reunion or rescue.
I think it was just hard to go from reading Akasif to this.
Oh yeah. Nothing compares to the headboard.
No headboard. Indeed. So instead, let's cut to awkward marital chamber where Therian and Sad. Therian is doing the classic, I guess, beard thing where he's like, you can have the bed. Like we definitely don't have to have sex because I respect you too much as a woman. And like, that's why we're not having sex.
I care much more about your brain. Like
Respectful
He's a respectful king. And she doesn't actually seem to be like that shitty. She seems to be kind of chill.
Yeah, she seems cool.
No, it feels like she's Flynn. Like the little sister who they were all like, oh, what a brat, blah, blah, blah. And she's like, well, you never invited me to anything.
Yeah, like, sorry that I was like a teen once.
So they're fine. They're going to like kind of hang and work it out. Okay, and so then we end this episode with the only potentially interesting or riveting romantic pairing left in this book, which is Lydia and Rune. Lydia sort of offhandedly scolds Rune for not like handling Shadow King well enough. She's like, you gotta start acting like a prince. And he spends like the whole night awake in bed. He's like, oh fuck, am I not acting like a prince? Like, Lydia really wants me to act like a prince.
And then he implements that advice.
No, he does. He takes her feedback.
Wait, how?
When he's talking to the little creep twins. Yeah. He's like about to pop. They're trying to like make him mad. He's about to like pop off on them and probably be like, kick rocks, dude. And like flip them off like he usually does. Because these guys love flipping people off. But instead he's like, your presence is no longer desired. Or like something like that. Right. And they're like, ugh. And it totally works. And he's like, wow, that worked.
Yeah. And she like, knows, she sees. It's great.
Flynn and Deck are like, you just need to go talk to her. And they keep just like conveniently leaving for meals so they can like eat lunch and dinner by themselves because they're good boys.
Yeah.
And she's like, how did you end up so sweet? Like your dad is such a dick. And he says his friends, which is cute.
Yeah, that's so cute. Yeah. No, I love this. They're like tentatively like starting to like each other and also admit that they're fucking obsessed with each other.
And so, okay, so then they have their second or third meal alone and they walk back to their rooms and she smells like flowers unfurling under the morning sun, which like really gets him going. Like really gets him going. And he starts like kissing her throat and she's like kind of into it and we're like, okay, like finally, like is this gonna like here we go. One up?
Literally, I think I like sat up in bed. I was like, here we go, here we go.
And then Lydia's like, oh, I can't, and like goes into her room, shuts the door.
Right. But why can't she?
I don't know. Leaves everyone wanting more.
Us
and Rune.
But we do love a throat. I think does he do a nice little lick on the column of the throat?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, that's a top tier move.
Yeah.
And I think that's where we leave it.
Yeah, let's leave it on that nice little
because we will be circling back next time on those two.
And hopefully now that maybe we've gotten some of our complaining out, we'll be able to enjoy it.
I think you're being a little optimistic. It seems like you guys have a lot more complaining to do.
I'm waiting for the right moment to bring up fucking Vic at the bottom of the Marineris Trench. Love you guys. Thanks for being on this journey with us. Again, we're all processing. We're here. We're processing together.
Yeah.
This tome.
Anyways, with that being said,
we'll see you next time.
See you next week.
Yeah. Bye.
Bye.